Hello, I'm Aaron Scott with Web Video Ad Space. This is Live with Aaron, where I jump on for a few minutes every day to share some tips or tricks to help you increase your sales using digital marketing strategies. Today, we're going to talk about pearls before swine, right? Positioning. And the best story that I can think of to demonstrate the massive difference between the perception of value based on positioning is the classic Joshua Bell experiment. So one early morning, about rush hour, as people are trying to get to work in the Washington, D.C. Metro subway station, outside of it in the lobby, a violinist unpacks his violin. I'll show you a picture. It really happened. This is a real thing. You can go to YouTube and watch videos on that. And the guy unpacks his violin and he starts playing some really complicated, sophisticated, classical pieces and does it for about 45 minutes and makes a whopping $32. Something like that, $32, $35, a small amount of money. What we've eventually learned, the experiment is interesting because that's a $3.5 million violin, and it's being played by Joshua Bell, who's considered the world's finest concert violinist. And based on an hourly wage, I heard reported that he makes upwards of $60,000 per hour when he's performing. So it's a big difference, right? These people busy going to work, whether they like it or not, it is not the time that they are ready to appreciate it, and especially appreciate its full value. Whereas when we know it's a $3.5 million violin, Stradivarius violin, being played by the world's leading concert violinists, that changes things a lot. So that's positioning. How are you positioning your business, your services in relation to the existing market? Are you playing a $3.5 million Stradivarius violin in a metro station or in a well-publicized concert hall? It's going to make a difference. I'll briefly just kind of share kind of traditional positioning, because we all need to rethink this kind of stuff on an ongoing basis, and it really does affect every single message we create, and therefore every message that we distribute. It all needs to be brought back to our forethought, because maybe sometimes we focus too much on the offer, or sometimes we focus too much on the conversions. But positioning is really a branding concept, and it's everything is sort of affected. It's sort of the dressing around everything else that we do. So traditional market positioning is to put your competitors, all the people playing in a market, on two axes. So this is an example from beer companies, beer brands, and we have everyday to special, and then domestic to import. And then we can see the different. These are all of our traditional cheap domestic brews. We've now got some, fancier micro brews down here on the domestic side. And then we've got our everyday imports, Guinness and Heineken, and special imports. Now we look at the mass market versus micro versus domestic versus import. And the advantage of putting your competitors on these kind of axes and then come up with different ones like they have here is to identify an opportunity. If we could put a brand right here, that seems to be a good opportunity. So I would say, specialty brews in the micro brewery space that are import is totally underserved. And I'm sure it has to do with the cost of importing and the risk required to incur that cost, and then whether it's going to be a hit or not, because it's just going to be micro. But what a huge opportunity. That's kind of what the data would show, is that there is an opportunity there. That's what we all want to do. We all want to find a blue ocean, one that's not full of sharks already in a feeding frenzy and lots of blood in the water, red ocean. We want a blue ocean where there's not a lot of competition. And then we want to, and then this is another one, let's see, older versus younger demographics on the drinking people, and then more fun versus better beer. So again, if you could come up with a better beer that's really targeted to young people, again, they don't have the money, so there's real reasons why there's empty space here, but it does inform your decisions. And then once you decide where you want to be, regardless of where you want to be, then you have to make sure that that's being reflected, and we don't end up like poor Joshua Bell playing our $3.5 million Stradivarius violin in the subway station for a bunch of commuters who could literally care less. That's it for today. That's my tip. Pay attention to your positioning. Revisit your positioning. Are you sure you're where you want to be? And if not, where do you want to be? And how can you change your marketing messages to ensure that you are in the spot you want to be? Thank you for joining me. If you get a chance, please like, comment, or share this post. Follow me, like this, subscribe, wherever you find this. I sure would appreciate it. And I will catch you in the next one.